There has been a lot in local news recently about the humanities department at the University of Otago losing staff. Well, the Labour Department via Dr. David Clark has come out in the last couple of days talking about how they can increase the staff in the humanities department. In fact, they're kind of couching it as a way that they can increase the staff at the humanities department by releasing information about one of their policies for next year called the Working Futures Plan. The Working Futures Plan is basically an offer to young New Zealanders for 3 years of free tertiary education. And of course, if you have more people in tertiary education, you have more staff that is needed. So whilst it's being couched as a conversation around humanities, really, Dean MacKenzie, it will be a conversation that they'll need more lecturers in every department if it comes together and if it increases the number of students.
That's exactly right. And of course, education is always a big issue for Labour, and it's important in Dunedin. And so we've had Labour MPs in the past, like Michael Cullen, for instance, and Pete Hodgson, who have really focused on education. So Clark's just another one on the line of spending money to get education. They do basically Labour wants free education. So, and this is the first part of it.
Yeah, and speaking of Dunedin, we're being told that it will increase the local economy by $269 million, an injection into it. 15% more students in Dunedin if this was to come together. And I guess a lot of people like me who kind of came into tertiary education in the 90s, went through the 90s, just missed the free stuff.
Yep.
I still kind of, and we were the first group that came through with student loans, kind of look back to the 70s and 80s and go, why can't we do free education? Why isn't that something that New Zealand can have again?
Well, one of the reasons is, of course, that our parents probably paid like 70 cents on the dollar on the high tax rates, and that's the argument you've got to have. Nothing's free. Someone's got to pay for it, basically, and Labour keeps putting out these policies without too much costings. I mean, they always put some sort of costings out there, but until you actually put it into play, then you've got to either keep tax rates the same and cut something else, or you've got to put tax rates up.
Well, let's have a look exactly what the politicians are saying. David Clark has released a statement that, amongst other things, says this, quote, "In short, under a Labour government, Otago University and Polytechnic will be looking to employ additional staff rather than making cuts to overall numbers like those currently proposed in the humanities." So as I said, it's not necessarily about humanities, but that's the headline it's taking up. But as you say, Stephen Joyce has come back with the point of where's the money, and also stating that the reason people are moving away from humanities is actually because it's what the students are studying. This is what he says: "In the modern world, more students are enrolling in subjects where New Zealand has skill shortages like health, IT and engineering, and less in the humanities." He goes on to talk about exactly what you said, i.e. where's the money, by saying this: "Once again, Dr. Clark seeks to write cheques and simply throw more and more taxpayers' money around. The public understands the government and taxpayers do not have unlimited resources." So as you said, Dean, got to find some cuts to find the money or increase taxes.
Look, it's always it's an emotional issue, education. Every election year, it's a big emotional issue. And of course, we all feel it. You know, if you've got family that have been studying, we've studied ourselves. You know, it does cost $1 or $2. But I think actually Labour needs to look more further down the track at maybe secondary education, because there's changes there that I seem to think that are so far behind that by the time the kids get to university, then they're playing catch up and find out where the shortages are, rather than maybe a political party identify the shortages early, so that those kids can start studying at secondary school.
But I guess we can say one thing is for sure, which is the political parties, what are we, 15 months out, are starting to ramp up for next year, starting to look at what their policies are going to be to try and win our votes at next year's general election.
Now that's the interesting point there, because when we are so far out, and normally Labour just keeps all its policy, but because it's so far behind on the polls, it's just got to try for a game breaker, and this is one of them.